Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we're going to be seeing if Mei Yin from Ark Survival Evolved could survive the events of the first Dead Island game. Now, just a couple things here. We're going to only be giving Mei Yin standard gear here. Her chitin armor, her sword as well, so she won't have anything tech-based as that's overkill here. Keep in mind, again, Mei Yin is a normal human, but with her tech suit, she can easily reach things like city level and stuff like that. While these zombies are only like, what, small building level, because they're able to ram through metal, destroy walls and stuff like that. And in all honesty, they're pretty weaker than the Dead Island 2 zombies who are able to tank oil tanker explosions. So yeah, they ain't too much problem for a Mei Yin with her tech suit. So other than that, let's establish some ground rules. We're actually going to be looking at this from an actual survival perspective. We'll say Mei Yin has to survive here for about a year. All right. And she has to establish the essentials. We also will not be doing Dead Island Riptide, as I'll be saving that for at least 2 of the Total Drama videos, okay? So without further ado, yeah, let's begin here. Mei Yin has to escape from the hotel, and she has to survive here. Does she have any experience dealing with these kind of situations? And yes, she does. Ark Survival Evolved. It's a survival game. Now, once you establish your base in a decent and safe location, me personally, I do like beach-like locations, but I don't really have them too close to the beginner spot, because sometimes, beginner spots aren't the best place to, build things here. But yeah, Mei Yin does have experience surviving in these apocalyptic-like situations, especially on Ark Extinction, where the corrupted dinosaurs are essentially zombie-like dinosaurs. So, yeah, she has plenty of experience here. Now, would she stay at the hotel? This is a very big maybe. Now, I do think Mei Yin would have her standard gear, her chitin, or I think this is possibly metal. I mean, it's red, and we all know red armor in Ark can be chitin. But I heard you can customize your armor, and this does look like the metal chest plate. So, yeah, she definitely would be wearing, like, metal armor and stuff here. Even then, I don't even think the zombies could bite through a chitin armor if raptors can. So, it is what it is here. So, I think Mei Yin would not stay at the hotel. But I do think she would definitely confiscate some food, especially some of the meat from the meatery, and definitely take it to the parking garage where she would get the truck here. Keep in mind, again, we are also, I almost forgot to say this, right? We are not counting the immune for the story here. And remember this, Mei Yin is not immune, meaning if she gets bit, it's a wrap. So again, I do think Mei Yin would try very hard not to get bit here. Do I think she would realize what's going on here with the infection here? She would probably think that if they are trying to bite people, they're trying to spread the infection. So I don't really see any reason why she wouldn't here. And if not, she could definitely make her way to the lifeguard tower. Or probably save like any of the people around them here, and definitely make her way to a good base location. I do think the best base location for her for right now is definitely the lifeguard tower. Now let's talk about food here, as water is really not too much of an essential on Benoi, as all you really need to do is have power and you have like clean water. So yeah, that pretty much works here. Now, Mei Yin using the entire island is probably a big iffy when it comes to the food here. Now, again, I do think she would have the armored truck at the beginning, and she would definitely use it to pack up some meat. But let's say she also needs more food. Well, there are the gas stations, which is a risk. Not too much for her, because she can just one-shot a large portion of the zombies here. But the most food she can get is from gas station number 2, which is near the city. But that one is a bit more dangerous and a lot more locked down for some reason. So it kind of is what it is here. But again, I do think it is pretty simple for her to get to it, especially if she like does let the people in the lifeguard tower in, and she allows them to like help her out. She gathers some of the equipment and stuff here. And I do think she would eventually leave them and make her way to the what's it called? The old marina station or the old garage that's at like the end of Hanoi. The reason why I would say this here is this is where she would mainly establish herself a boat here. We do know there are a lot of boats on the island, some of them beached and some of them, just damaged and stuff like that. But I do think if she's able to get to the old marina and definitely get herself a boat here, she would be able to not only survive a lot longer, but actually be able to possibly just live on the water, keeping away from the zombies. Keep in mind, again, this is not Dead Island Riptide, where they have zombies like the drowners and bloaters, out there at sea here. They don't have those. The bloaters are more so in the interior of the island than the outskirts here, meaning that Mayan could pretty much build a boathouse or use one of the living in or one of those living inside, boats here or one of those boathouses or whatever, to basically just, function. Now, do I think she would take Jin with her at her father's command? Yes, I do think so. Do I think Jin would stay with Cinnamon in the lifeguard tower? No, I don't think so. Jin is trying to survive, and I do think that it is best to not share her resources with so many people. But I do think she isn't heartless, was what I'm trying to say here. She isn't heartless, and I definitely think she would let a couple people stay with her, such as one, the couple that's pretty much trying to get to the lighthouse. I don't think they would even make it. So I think it's very possible that she does keep like a small group of people, probably like 4, if not 5. But eventually, I do see her possibly running out of food eventually. You see, the beach areas are not the best when it comes to maintaining a stable food supply. You need a lot, especially if it's just you and 4 other people. You might say, oh, well, you might not need much here, but apparently on Dead Island, for some reason, food is a bit scarce. I think it gets worse in Dead Island too, especially at the Ocean Avenue Mall here. They're like, I wouldn't say starving, but again, they're running out of food there pretty easily. So, yeah, it kind of is what it is here. Now, I do think Mayan would definitely make the garage a much more safer place here and definitely have the team work out a way to not only fix the boat, but to make it inhabitable for all of them. Probably not to the degree of, something like, oh, well, they're all going to just live on that boat here. No, they're probably going to use it as a last resort or at least a escape means just in case that their base does get overrun. And I do think Jin would train the people in her martial arts combat to keep them safe here. Now, do I think Jin would try to find a way off the island? Yes, I do think she would here. And this is where I think she would probably head to the city. Now, I don't think she would really find any real intel about it. But again, if she does make it to the city and she is able to make her way to the mayor, or at least the town hall, right? I do think that Jin would definitely understand that the military isn't sending any help for them soon, and Benoy might get nuked eventually. I think she would be able to put 2 and 2 together and definitely try to resolve and definitely solve this issue here, meaning that she would try to get her and her people pretty much out of there. And she would definitely invite anyone who wants to come along with her, along for the ride. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. I mean, you want to come, you want to survive, or you don't. I mean, it is what it is here. But again, I do think that she would also go to the supermarket and definitely get her own food here. She and the rest of her tribes people or whatever would definitely get some food and definitely try to survive the best that they can here. I mean, it's pretty simple and, pretty simple, pretty straightforward here. And I think Mayin actually does well in the city. Yes, there are rams. Yes, there are bloaters. Well, bloaters in the sewer areas. I don't think she would pretty much use the sewers. I think she would actually use her boat to go over to the other side of the city and definitely make her way to City Hall through those means here. Maybe finding like a backdoor, or maybe being able to take down the zombies and then they temporarily take down the defenses to let her in by herself, by the way, and probably just leave her team back at the boat here. Now, there's not too many things I could see Mayin, doing at that point. I mean, sure, she could easily investigate the city, maybe save people a little bit, and then have them come back with her. But again, that would probably be a lot on her, and I just don't see her doing too much here. The thing is, she is still trying to survive and make sure she has a stable way to not only keep herself safe, but to keep her team safe. Keep her tribe safe and stuff like that. And it's very possible she might not even go into the forest. No, I don't see her doing that. You see, the thing is here, the forest is a lot more dangerous than the city. At least the city, you have a lot more blockades and barricades and stuff like that. But in the forest, they can just attack you at nighttime and you wouldn't be able to defend yourself or block all the exits because you can't block everything in the jungle. One little opening is all these infected need. And then the butchers as well are literally one of some of the most dangerous zombies of all time. Do I think Mei Yin would definitely encounter a butcher eventually? Yes, if she sees she has no other choice but to go into the forest. But again, I don't see her doing that because it's a very big risk here. Now, if we do have to go with the story interpretation for this survival here, Mayan definitely makes her way through the prison. Now, at this time here, she may leave her tribe or may take them with him. But some of them may see this as a greater risk and would just probably just rather stay there on the island, trying their best to survive on their, with this tribe here. Maybe they go back to Cinnamon. Maybe they see it's not worth, surviving on their own anymore. And again, that probably would happen. Some people would rather go back to where they were and think they were safe here. Probably taking some of the food and materials back, while Mei Yin actually just goes out on her own trying to actually get off the island. It does happen. It's human nature. Sometimes things don't work out the way they should here. However, I do see Jin sticking with her as she seemed to be the most dedicated to the main group. Not to say the main group was dedicated, but out of other outside people, it was her and Emma that were the more dedicated ones to the immune here. While everyone else was just trying to use them for beneficial gain, she was actually out there trying to be a part of the team. Now, if that happens here, then I can actually see Jin making it all the way. Like, she would definitely survive and they would be able to definitely take down an infected rider, realizing that their blood, or at least, their antidote was actually just turned into a super virus. And in all honesty, without the immune here, this does mean that the super virus is likely not created, meaning they could just fight against a regular white, just blitzing him and cutting his arm off and taking the helicopter for themselves here while Ryder gets attacked by the infected. I mean, it's kind of ironic, right, that they would make it here. Now, do I think Jin could get bitten at certain points? Yes, I do think Jin does have a good chance of getting bitten. Probably a 30% chance of being bitten in general. But do I see it happening? No. Jin is too skilled and too sophisticated of a character to allow herself to be bitten. So, do I think Jin survives Dead Island? Yeah. She's able to establish a shelter for herself pretty early. She's able to get food and a stable source of water pretty easily here. And she, because of her intelligence, right, she's able to create vehicles that are directly capable of not only housing herself, but probably her tribe mates as well. So yeah, I definitely say she survives this with mid difficulty. So that's going to be all for today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.